1. Whitney Purvis from 16 and pregnant, arrested for involuntary manslaughter. 2. Tragic arrest. Whitney Purvis from 16 and pregnant, faces involuntary manslaughter charges. 3. Former 16 and pregnant, star Whitney Purvis charged in fentanyl overdose death. 4. Tragic news. Whitney Purvis from 16 and pregnant, charged with involuntary manslaughter. 1. Whitney Purvis from 16 and pregnant, arrested for involuntary manslaughter. A shocking twist in the life of a reality TV icon has left fans stunned. Whitney Purvis, once a breakout star of 16 and pregnant, now faces a felony charge of involuntary manslaughter linked to a fatal drug overdose. But here's where it gets complicated. This isn't just a story about one tragic event. It's a collision of personal tragedy, legal battles, and the devastating rise of synthetic drugs. And this is the part most people miss. Her arrest comes just weeks after her teenage son, Weston, passed away under entirely different circumstances, adding layers of heartbreak to an already volatile situation. According to authorities in Floyd County, Georgia, Purvis was taken into custody on Monday after being accused of distributing a dangerous drug blend known as Tranq, a combination of fentanyl and xylazine. For those unfamiliar, xylazine is a sedative typically used in veterinary medicine, but when mixed with fentanyl, it becomes a lethal cocktail. The victim, identified as John Mark Harris, allegedly overdosed on this substance, leading to his death. Cops say the Tranq directly caused the toxic reaction. This latest arrest isn't Purvis's first run-in with the law, but it's by far the most severe. Prior charges included shoplifting a pregnancy test, damaging electronics, and failing to pay child support. While those incidents might seem minor compared to this, they raise an uncomfortable question. Does a history of legal trouble make this charge more predictable, or does it simply highlight how far things can spiral? And here's another twist. Purvis's son, Weston, died in June from natural causes, a loss that now casts a shadow over this new tragedy. Could this sequence of events be a cry for help, a pattern of poor judgment, or something else entirely? The public, and the legal system, will likely debate this for years. Purvis's legal team hasn't commented, leaving many to wonder how she'll defend herself. Will she argue ignorance about the drug's potency? Or will the court focus on intent? The case could set a precedent for how similar drug-related deaths are prosecuted. What do you think? Should the law treat drug distribution differently when it involves synthetic substances like Tranq? And does her personal history mitigate or exacerbate her responsibility in this case? Share your thoughts below. We want to hear if you believe this is a cautionary tale, a legal overreach, or something in between. 2. Tragic arrest. Whitney Purvis from 16 and pregnant, faces involuntary manslaughter charges. Imagine a moment when a celebrity's past comes back to haunt them in the most unexpected way. Whitney Purvis, the star of the controversial MTV series 16 and Pregnant, finds herself at the center of a tragic legal battle following the death of her son. But here's where it gets controversial. Her arrest on involuntary manslaughter charges has sparked intense debate about responsibility and accountability. On Monday, July 7, Whitney Purvis, now 33, was arrested in Floyd County, Georgia, facing an involuntary manslaughter charge. This news broke via TMZ, shocking many who followed her journey on screen. According to arrest records obtained by USA Today, Purvis was also hit with 2 felony drug-related charges. One accuses her of possessing a controlled substance with the intention to distribute, while the other suggests she used a phone or other device to commit a drug-related felony. What makes this case particularly complex is that Purvis is being held without bond, indicating serious concerns from law enforcement. This arrest came just a month after the tragic passing of her son, Weston Jr., who was found dead on June 2. Initially, the cause of death remained unknown, leading to an autopsy request from the family. Weston's father, Weston Sr., mentioned that the teen was seen on home surveillance cameras staying up all night before his passing. In subsequent interviews with People, Whitney provided more details about her son's health, revealing that he struggled with significant medical conditions, including Addison's disease and diabetes. These revelations add another layer to the case, prompting questions about how much influence her actions might have had on his health. Whitney's involvement with 16 and Pregnant in 2009 marked the beginning of her reality TV career. The series, which aired from 2009 to 2014, followed the lives of pregnant teenagers and their challenges. It spawned a series of spin-offs known as Teen Mom, making it a cultural phenomenon that sparked both praise and criticism. This case raises important questions about the impact of media representation and personal responsibility. How much do we hold individuals accountable for the choices they make, especially when those choices affect the lives of others? And what role does public scrutiny play in shaping these outcomes? As this story unfolds, it serves as a stark reminder of the far-reaching consequences of our actions and the importance of taking care of ourselves and those around us. What do you think? Should Whitney Purvis face these charges, or are there mitigating factors that should be considered? Share your thoughts in the comments. 3. Former 16 and pregnant star Whitney Purvis charged in fentanyl overdose death. A shocking turn of events has unfolded in the life of Whitney Purvis, a former star of MTV's iconic reality series 16 and Pregnant, now facing serious legal consequences tied to a tragic overdose death. Let's break down what's happening, and why this story is sparking intense debate. Whitney Purvis, 33, was arrested in Georgia on charges of involuntary manslaughter after being linked to the February death of John Mark Harris, a man described in his obituary as a kind-hearted soul who always went out of his way to help others. According to court documents and reports from TMZ, Harris died from fentanyl poisoning after allegedly receiving a dangerous combination of fentanyl and xylazine, a drug blend known on the streets as Tranq. Federal agents from the DEA, alongside local law enforcement, executed the arrest, signaling the gravity of the case. But here's where it gets controversial. Purvis's arrest comes just weeks after another devastating personal loss. In June, her eldest son, Weston Jr., passed away at just 19 due to natural causes, as reported by Deadline. In a deeply emotional Facebook post, Purvis claimed her son suffered from multiple chronic health conditions, including diabetes and Addison's disease, and accused his father of failing to provide adequate medical care, a claim the father has denied. The DEA's involvement adds another layer to this story. Acting Special Agent Jay Chung issued a stark warning: 2 milligrams of fentanyl can kill, a statistic underscoring the agency's broader message that synthetic opioids are driving the majority of drug-related deaths. This raises a critical question: how much responsibility do individuals bear when distributing substances they know, or should know, are lethal? And this is the part most people miss. Purvis's case isn't just about one tragic death. It highlights the broader crisis of fentanyl-laced drugs flooding communities, the risks of xylazine, a veterinary sedative now appearing in human drug supplies, and the challenges of holding people accountable in cases where intent is unclear. What do you think? Should reality TV stars face heightened scrutiny for their actions outside the spotlight? Does the public's perception of their pasts influence how we judge their present choices? Share your thoughts below. We want to hear your take on this complex and heartbreaking situation. 4. Tragic news: Whitney Purvis from 16 and pregnant, charged with involuntary manslaughter. A heartbreaking tragedy has unfolded for former reality TV star Whitney Purvis, leaving many questioning the circumstances surrounding her recent arrest. But here's where it gets even more devastating. Just 1 month after the sudden death of her 16-year-old son, Weston Owen Gosa Jr., Purvis now faces serious charges, including involuntary manslaughter, allegedly tied to drug-related activities. This shocking turn of events has sparked a wave of emotions and debates among fans who once followed her journey on MTV's groundbreaking series, 16 and Pregnant. On July 7, 2025, Purvis, who first captured audiences' attention as a teenage mother in the show's inaugural 2009 season, was taken into custody at Georgia's Floyd County Jail. The 33-year-old is accused of not only involuntary manslaughter but also manufacturing and distributing controlled substances, with an additional charge claiming she used a communication device to facilitate a drug-related crime. She is currently being held without bond in the jail's medical unit, leaving many to wonder about the specifics of her alleged involvement. And this is the part most people miss. Purvis's story, once a raw and emotional portrayal of teen motherhood, took a dramatic turn years after her time in the spotlight. Her original episode, aptly titled Whitney, shed light on the harsh realities of young parenthood, from financial struggles to social isolation. At just 16, she navigated pregnancy, childbirth, and the challenges of raising a child with her then-boyfriend. Now, over a decade later, her life has become embroiled in a legal battle that raises more questions than answers. The tragedy began on June 2, 2025, when Purvis shared a heart-wrenching Facebook post announcing her son's death, calling it her worst nightmare come true. Her raw grief resonated with many. How do you go on in life after losing a child? I'm in disbelief, this cannot be happening. I don't want it to be real. I would do anything just to hold him. Words just can't describe the pain I am feeling. This poignant message has since taken on a new layer of complexity given the subsequent legal developments. Here's the controversial angle. While details of Purvis's case remain under wraps, the intersection of her son's death and the drug-related charges has ignited debates about accountability, parenting, and the long-term impacts of reality TV fame. Is this a case of personal struggle spiraling out of control, or is there more to the story? The public's fascination with her journey from teen mom to accused felon raises uncomfortable questions about society's role in supporting young parents and addressing substance abuse issues. As further details emerge, one thing is clear: this story is far from over. What's your take? Do you think Purvis's reality TV past has influenced public perception of her current situation? Or is this solely a matter of personal responsibility? Let us know in the comments. This is a conversation that demands diverse perspectives. Reported by Alex Porti, a senior trending reporter at Today Digital, based in Los Angeles.